Okay, so we're back. I took the little break, hoping to see if I could get chat fixed. I don't know whether it is or not because nobody's typed anything in there. But I'm just going to assume that we're good, and hopefully we are. So I don't want to keep holding us up any longer than we've already been held up with whatever in the heck YouTube has going on tonight. So anyway, here we go. We are moving into a half case of Tier 1 baseball. So this is 6 boxes of 2017 Topps Tier 1. This is half case break number 7. And of course it ended tonight as well. And you will see, as before, our team names are down one side, our winning bidders are down another. And we do have some teams in here that are marked unpaid, and one of them is a big one, and that's the Yankees. So I am going to take a step away into the office for 1 second, and I'm going to see if the payment has come in. If it is not, then we may have to try and resell the Yankees, because that's a big one to leave open. So I'm going to step in and check that out. I will be back in 1 second. Okay, and that is an unpaid team right now, the Yankees and the Mariners and the Royals. So if anybody's interested in any of those 3 teams, please jump in here and let me know, because that is that's kind of a problem that we have going on right now. Yeah, I can't do too well with that, I'm afraid. I definitely need to be able to have that team sold. So again, this break is just going terribly tonight. Let's just put that out there. Between the YouTube problem and then the Yankees being unpaid and chat still not really wanting to function and work. I mean, just nothing is going well about this tonight, is it? And I apologize, guys. I mean, I haven't had any of this stuff happen in a long time. This is just a mess, to be honest with you. It's not making me happy. I'm sure it's not making you happy. And I cannot get, once again, it just will not load. I don't know why chat will not load, but it will not load. And I don't really know. So some of you may be telling me you want the Yankees, but I don't know it. Oh, boy. Trying one more option here, which I know I've tried a bunch. And I'm sorry, all of you who have done a break with me before, you know this is not the norm. Those of you who have not done a break with me, I'm sure you're probably saying I am never coming back because this blows, and I don't blame you. This does blow. I am really not having fun either at the moment. This is awful, and I don't disagree with that. This does blow. I am really not having fun either at the moment. This is okay. So awful. Now, finally, option B, at least disagree with now that. I can see chat for the first time in this does blow. I am years. Really not having fun either at the moment. This is okay. So now, finally, option B, at least disagree with now I can see chat for the first time in this does blow. I am years. Really not having fun either at the moment. This is okay. So now, finally, option B, now I can see chat for the first time in this does blow. I am years. Really not having fun either. Okay, so now finally option B. Now I can see chat for the first time in this does blow. I am years. Really not having fun either. Okay, so now finally option B. Now I can see chat for the first time in this does blow. I am years. Really not having fun either. Okay, so now finally option B. Now I can see chat for the first time in this does blow. I am years. Really not having fun either. Okay, so now finally option B. Now I can see chat for and the Yankees were $290. So that is, I bet I know why the audio is getting an echo, because the only way I could pull up chat was on the same device I'm broadcasting from. So let me try and bring it up on my phone. All right, guys, so to get rid of what I think is the repeating or the echoing audio, I have to take it out of where I could see chat. Because why would it be any different the way tonight is going? So I am now trying to bring it up on my phone to see if A, that fixes the audio problem that you were having, which I think that it will, and B, if I can get back into chat if any of you guys wanted any of those teams or not. And again, I'm sorry. Normally, I leave unpaid teams unsold and I eat it and I go on. But $300 for the Yankees is way too much to leave sitting there. Well, $290, whatever it was, is way too much to leave sitting out there. So I'm just trying to get anything to work. YouTube is really not helping me tonight at all. Boy. I really don't think I've had breaks where YouTube has gone and done something weird, and I've had bad breaks before, but I don't think any have ever been this bad. This is just awful, and I apologize. It's not good, and I know it is not good. I'm not happy either. So I can see it on my phone, but I still can't see the chat. So the only place I could see the chat was causing you to have an echo, I think. So I guess we'll just go on and I'll eat $400, so, or $300, I guess. Anyway, let's take a look at the spreadsheet again, because by now I've forgotten and you probably have too. So here's the teams that we have in. We'll just take one more look at it, and just keep in mind that right now, if you are trying to tell me anything, unfortunately, I can't see it. I don't understand why YouTube is being so difficult, but it is, and we've already restarted the broadcast once and then wasted 10 minutes trying to fix it. So we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to get into these cards and see what we can find. Hopefully when I shut it down on the broadcast device, that took care of your echo on the audio. That was I think, most likely the problem, which is why I typically would watch it on a second device. So hopefully this is going to be worth it, right? I mean, my goodness, we better pull some absolute volcanic fire out of here after all that you have suffered through waiting to get to this point, I believe. Because this is just unbelievably crappy to this point. Yeah, that's good. Not good. But it's about to get better, because we're opening Tier 1, and Tier 1 is awesome. Okay, so first up is Noah Syndergaard. And you know what? I always pull a ton of Mets out of here, so I'm not surprised that we open up with a Met. This one is to 331 with Mr. Syndergaard. Next up, Justin Turner with the Dodgers to 300. I really like his signature, actually. It's pretty cool signature. And again, you can see you've got a little edge and corner issue down there, and that's unfortunately more noticeable on the cards that have the dark backgrounds. You kind of pops a little bit more. And then A.J. Reed for the Astros coming out to 10. So that's a nice little hit for the Astros with the A.J. Reed to 10. Oh, hey, my chat came back just spontaneously. Well, thank you, YouTube. Ruining the break for all of us. Now chat just comes back on its own. How awesome. Manny Machado to 331 for the Orioles. Oh, look at that patch. Nice. That is to 25 for the Cubbies with the Ben Zobrist. That I love. Love, love, love it. And then you got a little pinstripe too. Oh, so nice. Nice, nice for the Cubbies. Stephen Wright for the Red Sox to 300. And a redemption. Tyler Glasnow. That will be for Pittsburgh. But you know what? We will... we'll checklist verify it at the end anyway. Because I always do that. But that's going to be for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Oh, Tyler, what huge Yankees card got pulled? I wanna know. Tell me, which one is it? Bryce Harper to 331 for the Nationals. Omar Vizquel for the Mariners to 200. And again, you know, pretty much all these have a little bit of chipping and things on the corners and edges, specifically noticeable on the back because of the dark color. Tim Anderson to 300 for the White Sox. Wow, a 1/1 Aaron Judge patch auto. Wow. And it came out of Tier 1 or it came out of something else? This is the Yankees, Sanchez to 331. Oh, wow, the jumbo patch. Wow. That is Rizzo to 331 for the Cubbies. That's for the Mets, another one for the Mets. That one's to 300 on the Alarud. Tim Cooney for the Indians to 300. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me. I'm sorry this has been such a craptastic mess up to this point. This is the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw to 331. This is Kelvin Herrera for the Royals to 300. Ryan Healy for the A's to 300. Xander Bogaerts to 331 for the Red Sox. Another redemption. We'll save that one. Joe Panik to 120 for the Giants. And a redemption. Nice. Carlos Correa. Nice. So Astros and Pirates, but let's go checklist verify both of those because you guys know that that's how I do it. Well, if you've done a break with me before, you know that's how I do it. If you haven't done a break with me before, you're probably going, we don't care what you do at this point, just as long as you keep going. And I don't blame you. But yeah, let me just jump in here. I do any redemption, even if it came out Aaron Judge, which we know is a Yankee, 100% for sure we know is a Yankee. I still go into the checklist and verify them because that's just what I do. That's what it says we'll do if you ever read the little special circumstances area. And so that is actually what I do. And somebody actually, the last time when I was checklist verifying some stuff, got very, upset and thought I was just randomly choosing a team. But I'm not. You guys can actually see the same thing if you go to Topps.com. They list all the checklists, and Panini.com, and they list all the checklists. And so I always just go there on my computer and do it while we're live. So to review, we have Carlos Correa coming out for the Astros, Tyler Glasnow coming out for the Pirates. And then we're just going to buzz through everything. Of course, in Tier 1 is a hit, so we know that it's all hits, but we're going to review them all anyway, in case you want another look at something. And then that will bring us into Stadium Club. If anybody happened to have the Yankees-Red Sox evening game on, the back half of the doubleheader, feel free to shoot me the score in chat if you know what it is. Or it may be over by now, because I think obviously the break's taken a little longer than normal, what with the unfortunate early issues. YouTube not being anyone's friend tonight, or at least not being my friend tonight. Astros had a couple of really nice hits with the A.J. Reed and the Correa. And the Justin Turner's nice as well. I don't pull a lot of Justin Turner, so it's always good to see him come out for the Dodgers. So that is Tier 1 in the books. .3-0 Boston in the 8th inning. Okay, cool. Thank you, Sid and David, for throwing that up there. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that to both of you. Thank you. Now we're going to jump into the back half of a case of Stadium Club. And there's a lot of boxes there. There are going to be 8 of them in total. Stadium Club's a big case. There's a lot of cards in here. So we have 8 boxes of 17 Topps Stadium Club. This is the back half of a case, which makes it half case break number 2. And again, we had some unpaid teams in here, but I think everything in there was, I think the most part, people that have bid with me before, people that I know, so I'm not too worried about that. And again, payment could have come in the meantime. Goodness knows we've had so much going on tonight, it may have. I did not check to see on Stadium Club. I was only checking on the Tier 1 because I did not really want to get stuck with those Yankees, but maybe that team owner will end up paying for it anyway. They sent me a message earlier and said they would pay for it right at 10 o'clock, so that's why I ran back into the office before that break, thinking it would probably be paid by then, but it was not. Oh, Sid, you've had a terrible run of breaks? Oh, man. Well, I tell you what, if you pulled nothing in Tier 1, you literally pulled no card, not one thing, I'll still send you something, man. Don't worry. You'll still get something, at least, from me. But I can relate to your pain. I haven't really had time recently to buy into breaks, which I do like to do. I enjoy very much buying into other people's breaks to see what I can pull myself. And I've gone on, gosh, I went on one run that was just hideous back, I don't know, 3-4 months ago by now. And I mean, I was pulling nothing, no base card, no nothing, just zip, blanking. Tons, right? Just right in a row. And I think it was a Sunday, maybe Saturday or a Sunday, and I was on maybe my 8th break of the day, and I still had pulled just nothing. And I'm like, this is just crazy, man. And so I said something in the chat. I'm like, I cannot believe that I have pulled nothing all day out of whatever it was, 8 or 9 breaks. And I was like, please pull me, you know, a Steeler. It was a football break. It's like, please pull me a Steeler. So they open up the box and out comes like 3 Steelers. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness. But yeah, that was one of those bad runs. That's the gold parallel on... these will have, there's a black parallel, there's a gold, there's some other one, well, I haven't pulled any of the rainbow ones, but there's a black and gold parallel. Most of them are not numbered, but some of them are. So yeah, then I had another situation where I had a long dry spell and really had just given up. That is Joe Musgrove for the Astros. So the Astros continuing on with some nice little, there's another Bo Jackson. And see, there's the difference in the gold and the silver. But the gold one isn't numbered, so I mean, it is a parallel, but when they're not numbered, I don't think it's as interesting as when they are numbered. So on my other run of bad luck, what I'm telling you, Sid, is that I had another period of time where I went quite a number of days, probably even into a couple weeks, where I didn't have any hits. And at that point, I had more time. I was bidding quite a bit, and I was in a lot of breaks. So I just stopped watching them, right? I just figured, if I see a shipping notice, I'll worry about it then. There's a nice little Sunny Gray refractor. That's a chrome card, chrome parallel. Power Zone Corey Seager. And so I was doing a break, and someone who breaks with me often came into chat and said, oh, congrats on your, was an Antonio Brown rookie signature hit. He goes, oh, congrats on your rookie Antonio Brown. I was like, wait, what? I hit a rookie Antonio Brown? He's like, yeah. So I hadn't even watched it. So I can relate to what you're saying. When you go a long time, you just kind of give up and stop watching. That's Robert Gelman coming out for the Mets. There's another gold parallel. But I guess the point that I'm making in that long-winded story there is that eventually it will swing back in your favor. Eventually it does. Well, football breaks, yeah, you could switch to football breaks, or sometimes I just would, not so much in football. I pretty much like my Steelers, and I don't switch off of them too much in football, but in basketball, I play lots of different teams because I like the teams that have UK players on them. That's where I went to college. So I switch up a lot in basketball. So if I have like a bad run of luck, I'll just switch into a different team, and sometimes that will help. These kind of stick to each other, if you wonder why I'm kind of holding some of them a little long and sliding them around. That's why. There is a gold version of Contact Sheet. We did pull it in the first half of the case where these letters would be gold, and that it is a case hit when you pull a gold one of those. There's, I think, 4 different case hits. Again, they're not numbered. It's just that they have the gold lettering or gold writing on certain ones. There's a little Bryce Harper that's in the black parallel, and also kind of the chrome type card, but not numbered. Oh, your last hit was 3 weeks ago? What team do you play normally, Sid? What's your poison? Because what we're going to try to do is when we know who you have, we're going to try to put you some good luck out into the universe. Orioles and the Astros. So I take it you did not have the Astros in this break or the last break then, right? So you have the Orioles then, I'm assuming, in this break. Because if you had the Astros, we know we would have gotten you a hit. And in football, you play the Saints. Okay. So then we need to try to find you some Orioles tonight to change up your luck a little bit. Because, of course, we've already rolled through the football. So, yeah, so that's how it's been going, like the breaks where you don't buy a team, they hit, and then if you do buy the team, they don't hit. Yeah, that is super frustrating. Nobody ever likes that. I guess the only good news is that at least in breaks like Stadium Club, there's got to be, yeah, something stuck to that Willie Stargell, that you do at least have, you know, you get base cards, and I know people don't love base cards, but it's kind of better than getting nothing, at least in my opinion. And you do get some parallels and some other things like that. So, Jared, I will tell you what, in Tier 1, we had a couple of nice patches, and we had some things numbered to 25, and we had a couple of nice things. We didn't have, I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't think we had anything that was like enormous, but we had some solid hits. Probably the Korea was probably one of the better ones. But I tell you what, overall, you're better off having missed it, because good grief, I had all kinds of problems with YouTube earlier and ended up having to. I stopped the break, started the break back, and everything else. It has been challenging up until about 20 minutes ago, when YouTube decided to give me my chat back spontaneously after I spent 30 minutes trying to get it to work. But if you hang around, I will run through those hits with you again at the end of the break if you would like. Or of course you can watch the video later if you want. Either way is fine with me. Of course, Stadium Club, takes a few minutes to get through, but if you want to hang out through Stadium Club, I am happy to run through and show you Tier 1 again. That is no problem. All right, I'm going to set these down on the sorting mat so that we have some room. I don't like those stacks to get super high or anything. It just makes me nervous. And so coming out this week, we have Allen and Ginter, of course. That's always a fun one. And we also have, I think I'm just going to open a couple packs at once. Aside from Allen and Ginter, we have Optic. We have 2 baseball products coming out on Wednesday. I think I have got Optic breaking on Friday and Allen and Ginter on Thursday. Didn't break either one of them on release day, but I'm breaking some football on its release day, because there is a new football product, Pantheon, coming out on Wednesday. And also some basketball coming out on Wednesday. And it's a new product as well, Grand Reserve. Did I hit the camera? I guess I did, because now it looks kind of crooked, doesn't it? I guess I hit it. Let's try that. Might be a little better. Yeah, it is one of those nights, right? I am just snake bit tonight, as my grandmother would have said. Just see what happens when you take a night off. You get back the next day and everything is gone to pieces. And I do have one case of Tier 1 left. There's A.J. Reed again, man. Didn't we just hit A.J. Reed? Or was A.J. Reed in Tier 1? I guess he was in Tier 1. But either way, we are just blowing away some Astros tonight. So there is Mr. A.J. Reed for the Astros. And I know that's just making poor Sid mad because he's like, daggone it. I know. Understand. But so it is going to be a busy week coming up with 4 new products. Well, four products, 2 of them brand new series. The football Pantheon new, of course, and Grand Reserve basketball being new. And if you're into Allen & Genscher, I did decide to just list all those inserts and things as separate bidding categories because honestly, like, there's so many different inserts in Allen & Genscher, and sometimes people are interested in them. So I just decided to list them all separately and let the chips fall where they may, so to speak. Oh, there's a nice little Dansby in the gold parallel. And again, those, you know, whether they're gold or black or the standard silver, they're not numbered on the back. Oh, you know what? I am looking, Jay Clark, I am looking at your chat. And that chat message will probably go away after I cut the feed. So I'm going to try to remember your info. Little Sandy Koufax in the chrome parallel, and that of course is a refractor too. So I'm going to try to remember your info to send you an email, but if I somehow screw it up and don't get it translated, you can find me on eBay by going to advanced search. Like, you know, you would go into search and then there should be an option that says advanced search or something really similar to that. And then you would search by seller. Ronaldo Lopez is our next hit. Coming out for those White Sox with the Ronaldo Lopez. Oh, and there's Jose Altuve or Altuve, or I never say anybody's name right. So I wonder if I say my own name right. So you go into eBay search, advanced search, search by seller, and then type in Fleaburger. I know. I hate saying that out loud. Yeah, flea like on an animal, like F-L-E-A, flea, and then burger, like you would eat. All one word, Fleaburger. And that is my seller user name, I know, on eBay. And then once you have that in there, see items by seller out of advanced search, it'll bring up literally all of the listings that I have, if that makes sense. There is Jose Canseco, and that is the orange parallel, and it also is not numbered. Now, when we get into, if we find an orange parallel of like, in the zone or some of the inserts, they will be numbered. But the base cards, even though they have the parallel in the color, do not have a number on them. Yeah, you've got it, Jay. That is it exactly. Fleaburger. I know. Listen, I did it a long time ago, guys. Like a long time ago. 20 years ago, probably. Before I knew I was really going to be selling and doing a bunch of stuff on eBay. There's Pedroia for the Red Sox in the chrome parallel, or what they call chrome in here. And I know I could change it, but at this point, I've been on there for probably close to 20 years with that same name. So it's like, oh, well, no sense changing it now. But it's a weird one. But I had a cat named Flea. I had a solid white cat, and I named him Flea. And you're probably wondering why I named him Flea, but he doesn't have fleas. He didn't have fleas. He lived to be 16. He was a pretty cool guy. Anyway, so I was much, much younger then, and I was trying to get signed up just using Flea, right? Because, I mean, that's what we did then. You just put in your pet's name or whatever, and you went on about your ways before you had to worry about hacking and such. And of course it was taken. And so then I put in, you know, this variation and that variation, and everything was always taken, and it was just frustrating me. So finally, I was eating, and of course, naturally, you can guess what I was eating. That's right, a burger. And so finally, just out of frustration, I was like, oh, I should put in Flea, my cat's name, and burger together. And don't you know, that's what it took. So there you go. That's what happened. Probably more information than you bargained for, isn't it? Oh, well, thank you, Jay. Oh, Wayne, you had a dog. You actually named your dog Fleabag, Wayne, or you just called him Fleabag and he was named something else? Because that's, if you actually named him Fleabag, that's pretty funny. My mom was telling me this story this week, and I don't know if we have any kids watching, so I won't say the word, but she's telling me a story about, I guess it's one of my cousins. It's one that obviously I don't see and I don't really know, but I guess when he was really little, he had a dog. I'm trying to remember what she said the dog's name was. But whatever the dog's name was, the little kid had like a lisp or something and couldn't say it. And it sounded like he was calling the dog a-hole, you know, if you were saying, obviously, the correct word, which I'm not, in case there are kids watching. But so Mom said that he would, you know, whatever he is, my second, third cousin, whatever, he would go to the door and yell all through, oh, maybe it was Axel. That's what it was. The dog's name was Axel. And he couldn't say it, and it sounded like he was saying a blank blank hole. And so he would go to the door yelling for the dog, and all through the neighborhood he'd be screaming, hey ho, hey ho. And so of course the guy's grown now, right? And my mom sees him at reunions and stuff, and every time she sees him, poor man, she still goes after him about calling his dog a-hole all through the neighborhood. Tim Anderson for the White Sox, which didn't we just have Tim Anderson? Am I just hallucinating? Or I guess Tim Anderson was probably also in Tier 1. And we had, yeah, because I only see Ronaldo Lopez over there. But we seem to be having, you know, the same players we pulled in Tier 1 are coming out in Stadium Club at the moment. His called name was Rex. Well, that's better than Fleabag. Oh, you had a dog named Fonzie. I love that. That's awesome. That is awesome. Nothing like the Fonz. Hey. That was such a good show. I mean, when you watch it now, it's probably like, seems a little corny, but at the time, if you watched it at the time, it really was a good show. I liked it. That does say something about my age, doesn't it? Yes, it does, that I watched Happy Days. I know it does. Your friend named his dog Chase Muttley. Well, I'm trying to think of something. There's a Piscotti on the chrome refractor parallel. I'm trying to think of something that I can send in for Zach Cozart's donkey. I'm sure you guys all know the story by now about Zach Cozart and his all-star donkey that he's getting from Joey Votto. So the Reds, which is, I mean, kind of my hometown team. They're an hour or so up the road, but they're the closest one to me, so they're my adopted team. There is Stephen Wright for the Red Sox. So the Reds are having a contest now where you get to name Zach Cozart's donkey. Well, it's actually, Zach is actually the one having the contest, you know, but the Reds are running it or whatever. Then Zach will look at all of the names and decide what he's going to name his donkey. So I'm trying to think of something cool I could send in for his donkey's name, kind of like, you know, your Chase Muttley, that kind of thing. Haven't pulled any. Yeah, you know, I don't think we've pulled. Well, we definitely haven't pulled any Tigers hits.
I'm going to guess that there are tigers in the base. To be honest with you, I kind of tune out on a lot of the base. That's one of the chrome parallels. I don't really pay that much attention to what comes out of the base, because I will when I sort it, but when I'm just rolling through it like this, I don't. So I'm sure somewhere in here there have been some tigers going through in the base, but hits-wise, no, we haven't pulled any tigers tonight, I don't think. It's kind of unusual, because I normally do pull the tigers in Tier 1 anyway. But AJ Reed, man, how many times have I seen AJ Reed tonight? Feels like 100, but not really 100, but a couple. Yeah, I'm sure there's tigers in here somewhere. I'll have to start looking for them, because now I have a goal to see what tigers we're pulling. Because they're bound to be on the checklist. I mean, with Stadium Club's got a huge checklist, so they're bound to be in here somewhere, hiding. No, this is not Tier 1. This is Stadium Club. Tier 1 we broke right before this. And so I was just thinking, did I pull any? I was just thinking in general tonight. I guess I was kind of talking out loud. Well, thinking out loud. Obviously, talking is always out loud. As to whether or not we pulled any tigers in Tier 1, because we opened a half case of that earlier. And I have been pulling tigers out of Tier 1 most of the time. So that's kind of what I was mentally running through that checklist to try and remember if we did or not. But this is actually Stadium Club that we're blowing through right now. Tier 1, I have just one case of that left, and it will end on Friday night. This is what we broke tonight was the back half of a half case. I did a couple of cases as half cases, and then I did all the rest of the cases as full. And so the one remaining case will also go as a full case. I think it's on Friday night. Who are you saying came back into cards? Who are you asking me, Jay? Oh, there's Mr. Benintendi. He's coming along. He's going to be okay. He's just having a little bit of a little rookie slump. And really, he's not even having that much of a slump. He had a really good game, couple games back. And he's not doing badly. It's just, it's hard to, you know, you got Aaron Judge as these are sticking together. When you have Aaron Judge as your measuring stick, it kind of makes everybody else look a little less interesting, doesn't it? There's a Syndergaard Beam Team, and that is a black parallel. And that is numbered to 99, 57 of 99. It's up there in that upper corner. Well, I guess unless you're Cody Bellinger, because he's doing pretty well. And speaking of, Cody Bellinger and Ian Happ both are going to be in Allen and Ginter, by the way. They had said that Cody Bellinger wasn't going to be in anything until update, but he is in Allen and Ginter. He and Ian Happ both. Jay, you are asking me, did Stadium Club come back into the hobby? This is Topps, but it is Topps Stadium Club. Stadium Club is like, you know, the card set, like Topps Tier 1, Topps, you know, Stadium Club, Topps 500 other Topps names that they have. And let's see. Yeah, the whole thing with the Yankees in Tier 1, yeah, that was kind of bad. I mean, I'm hoping still that maybe the guy will pay for it, but I don't know. Certainly it is not a good sign when they say they're going to pay at 10 o'clock and that they hadn't paid by 10:45 or whenever I went to look last. But that does not mean that it is out of the question. It is still possible that they will pay for it. And if they don't, then I am out, $300-400, which sadly happens way more often than you would think. And if this hadn't been one of those nights, which we all know what it has been, but if it hadn't been, and chat and YouTube had been cooperating, I would have just resold them. But since I couldn't get chat up without getting the echo at that point in time for you guys, the audio had gone crazy when I had to open it on the broadcast device, and so I just decided to move onward and upward. How about that? There's a nice little Greg Bird for the Yankees. And I know, Yankees, I hear you already saying, I want Aaron Judge, I don't want Greg Bird. But I don't pull a lot of Greg Bird, and I think you've got some, I think Greg Bird's going to be okay over there on first. So you may still be happy that you have that. Oh, yeah. You're talking about, right, the original Stadium Club. I forget about a lot of those things. Yes, Topps, I guess, at some point must have acquired that brand. Like Panini at some point bought Don Russ and 500 of the other brands, and stuff that you remember being one thing is now really all Panini, and sometimes they still call it Don Russ, and sometimes they call it Panini, but they revive all of it somewhere along the way, The Fulmer is one of the chrome parallel type cards. That felt like something was sticking to the back of that. I guess it wasn't. So I don't know why these cards have a tendency to stick together more so than other sets. Chipper Jones. Always like to see Chipper. Oh, this might be a Stadium Vision. Or an Instavision, I mean. I don't know why I said Stadium Vision. Yeah, cool. Cool little Instavision for Clayton Kershaw. I like the Instavision cards. And these are generally a case hit, I believe. And I'm trying to see if, I guess that one must not be numbered that I'm seeing anyway. But cool little Instavision card heading to the Dodgers. Oh, you saw Michael Fulmer go by? I didn't even notice Michael Fulmer going by. Isn't that awful? I told you, on the base cards, I just kind of tune out. My favorite teams. Well, in baseball, it's the Reds. They're right up the road. Hour and a half, I guess, probably. Technically, probably an hour and a half. Oh, this pack's really stuck together as well. So it's always been the Reds for me in baseball, and the Dodgers. I've really always been a Dodger fan, and at one point I did live in LA for a while, but I was still a Reds fan even when I lived there, and I was a Dodgers fan even before I lived in LA. So it's kind of always been about the Reds and the Dodgers for me as far as my baseball teams go. And football, well, there's only one team in football, the Steelers. The Steelers, baby. Coming out for the Phillies, there's a little Aaron Nola. He has a really nice, neat little kind of signature, even though his A looks like a T. Or his first A looks like a T. And then basketball-wise, I mean, really, I like a lot of basketball teams because I like anybody who has any of my ex-UK players on them. I follow the teams, so we're on quite a few teams these days, so I watch a lot of basketball teams. And really, I watch other football teams, too, because, we've got Randall Cobb on the Packers, and UK not known for really being a football school, but we are getting better. But we do have a few guys in the pros. Fortunately, one of our guys went to the Steelers, so that was a win-win for me. Mr. Bud Dupree. Oh, when you went to Kings Island, I love some Kings Island. Gosh, I don't know what these are stuck together worse than some of the others have been. They're really sticking together quite a lot. Oh, you liked Barry Larkin and Pete Rose. My sister was a big Pete Rose fan. I was always a Johnny Bench fan. Johnny was always my man, and Pete Rose was always hers. Not that I didn't like Pete Rose. I mean, all those guys on the Reds in the 70s and 80s were pretty cool. But I was just always a Johnny Bench guy. Was my guy, All right. Let's bust into, what is this? This is box 6. No, what? 8765. I was right first time. Box 5. Now we've devolved to the point where I can no longer do basic math, right? Let's do one more. One of the big amusement parks. Oh, gosh. You know what, Wayne? I forgot about Pete Rose playing for the Phillies. I forgot all about that. And, Jay, I don't know about where the Reds dugout is at one of the amusement parks, unless maybe it's like the riverfront, like Coney Island type area where they do concerts and stuff. Maybe over there. I don't know. Manny Machado in the orange parallel. Of course, all week with the All-Star game, they showed, it was all week long, when Pete Rose ran over what's-his-head. Do you remember that? I'm sure you do. And if you don't, you've seen the clips, because they show them every year at All-Star time. It seems like when Pete Rose ran over that catcher in the All-Star game, I mean, just like mowed him down. And so, of course, someone had an interview with him, and then with the catcher as well, and it's so funny. They both still have such very different stories about what happened that day. Oh, Mike Schmidt. Yeah, I remember Mike Schmidt. I sold off. I had a ton of, there's Dan Vogelbach for the Mariners. I had a ton of baseball cards, all from 70s, 80s, even some into the 60s, because obviously some of that before my time. But my cousins, my older cousins, had baseball cards that I could talk them out of or trade them for and whatnot over the years when I was younger. Because my whole family collects. My mom, dad, sister, cousins, aunts, uncles, everybody. Family of collectors. Anyway. So I had a bunch of really nice cards from 60s, 70s, 80s, and quite a few of them. And when I got into college, I don't know, I didn't really have anywhere to keep them and have anything to do with them, and I sold them all. I kept maybe 10 or 12. I kept a few Hank Aaron's because I really like Hank Aaron. He's one of my absolute favorites. And I kept a Johnny Bench rookie and a handful of other cards, maybe 10 cards in total, and sold all the rest. And let me tell you what, if I had kept those, man, I'd probably be in pretty good shape right now. Oh, I don't know about this. I don't know where that sports memorabilia store is that you're asking about. That I don't know. I haven't been to a Reds game live in, wow, probably, I can't even think how long. Probably at least 15 years, probably more than that. Because I remember going with one of my friends who is now married with several kids and has moved away, and it was she and I and another handful of people, and that's the last time I was at a Reds game live. Here's a little Braden Shipley redemption, which of course we will go checklist verify at the end of the break. Diamondbacks, I think, right? I think he's Arizona, but again, we'll double check it. Wow, you won 10,000 cards playing pool? That's nice. That is nice. Yeah, I just, my cousins just, you could just talk them out of stuff. They were older, of course, and boys, and here I was a little girl, and just, probably, and I was a lot younger, so it was probably harder to tell me no. Because it was like, yeah, just give them to her. It's just easier. Just give them to her. So I collected all kinds of stuff when I was younger. Comic books and baseball cards and all kinds of stuff. And then I got out of it for several years and really didn't get back into card collecting until just a couple years ago. A big long break. Wayne, your grandson is named after Nolan Ryan. Wow, that's cool. Is he going to be a ball player? Is that the grandson that does the breaks with you? That you've finally got him out of Pokemon and into baseball cards? Is it the same one or a different one? All right, that box is in the books. Let me set it over here in the little sorting mat area, and then we'll bust into box 6. Okay, so he plays football, basketball, and baseball. Oh, he's a triple threat. Nice. So I guess then the key is going to be how tall does he get as to where he ends up. Well, of course I say that, but then you have Aaron Judge at 6'7" playing baseball, so I guess height does not necessarily predict whether or not you're going to play basketball. And here is our Beam Team Gold parallel, and that is, at least I think that's our gold parallel. That is going to be a case hit, but it's not numbered. But there is one per case in the gold for the Beam Team. Now, why they decide not to number those, I could not tell you, but there you go. I think it's kind of weird that they're case hits but yet unnumbered. Oh, something else. Moncada. When are they ever going to call that guy up? They need to call the guy up already. Read an article today or yesterday. Somebody was hypothesizing that they weren't bringing Moncada up yet because their clubhouse is dysfunctional and they didn't want to bring him into that or something. I don't know. It was something kind of odd. Or actually, I take that back. Maybe that was not about Moncada. That was maybe about a different prospect, but same organization. UK. I graduated from UK, Jay. The University of Kentucky. That's why I like to follow all of our ex-UK guys wherever they go. And we've got a few baseball players too, here and there, that came from UK. Not as many as basketball. Well, we don't have as many any sport as basketball. Hey, of course I love Coach Cal, man. Coach Cal is awesome. If you haven't watched it, you should watch the 30 for 30 about Cal. It's pretty good. Of course, most of the 30 for 30 are good, but it was very insightful about young Cal. If you're interested in that sort of thing. Well, now that time I thought one was stuck to it, and I guess it wasn't. You know, there's one person that breaks with gloves on, and I don't know how you could break with gloves on. I mean, especially like cards like that where they're stuck together and you can't even feel it. I don't know how you break with gloves on. Seth Lugo for the Mets. Oh, I do know one thing that I forgot to mention in all of the disaster that was the early part of this evening, trying to get YouTube on board with the rest of us, and that is shipping. When is this stuff going out? I'm expecting that what we break tonight is probably a Wednesday shipment, and if I can get it out sooner, I will, but right at the moment, I'm thinking Wednesday for all of this. Oh, there's our other hit for this box. Well, did we get a look at, let's take another look at Duke there, and then we'll look at our hit. For the Braves, Mr. Tim Cooney. Whoops, sorry, the Indians. Why did I say the Braves? Ah, crazy. The Indians. I know better than that. That's Braves on the brain. Yes, Tier 1 has already been. Tier 1 was back a little bit ago. Yes, I noticed that you did not pay, because it was $300 and some odd that you owe me. So yes, I did notice that you did not pay. That did not go without notice. So yes, I would appreciate it if you would go ahead and take care of that payment, man, because that's just out of my pocket if you don't honor those bids. So I would hope that you will honor your bids. Because that's that's a pretty big chunk to leave hanging out there. So I would expect that you will go back and pay that, right? So Paul, are you going to go take care of your payment, or where are we on this, man? You are? Okay, good. Thank you. I appreciate that, because I really don't want to be on the hook for 3 teams, especially when one of them is the Yankees. There's Nunez with the orange parallel. Addison Russell. Hang on 1 second, guys. I'm going to be back with you in 1 second. Okay, so Paul, it says that you haven't made payment. So, are you gonna... Well, I tell you, if you're trying to use a mobile device, here's one thing I can say. The mobile device, if you're trying to use the app, I have been told, really does not like combined invoices for whatever reason. When you're trying to pay for multiple items, I've been told by several people that the app will like give you all kinds of fits. But if you go to it through, I mean, you can still go to it on your phone, but just like go to the browser and type in the www.whatever, ebay.com, and then go into, I think it's like items I've won or items I've purchased or something like that. And then it will let you check out, usually. Or the other option, of course, would be to try from a desktop or from a laptop. But the app, from what I've been told by a number of people, really can be disastrous. Well, right. I understand, man. I mean, you and I are in kind of the same position, okay? Because, like, I'm sitting there going, I've got, you know, $300 bucks outstanding that, you know, I'm going to be stuck with. So, I hear you. So, I don't mind going through the Tier 1 hits with you again after we finish Stadium Club. But, obviously, I would like to have payment taken care of first. So then it would be all squared away, and that would be fine. So I hear what you're saying. It's, you know, okay, what option is it telling you is gone, Paul? I don't know what you mean saying the option is gone. You're saying eBay's telling you that the invoice is not there anymore? There's another little nice Mike Trout. There is a gold chrome parallel. And they call these chrome in here. It's not their traditional chrome card, but you get kind of the idea. Okay, here's what I will do, Paul. I'm going to go, sorry, Stadium Club guys, give me 1/2 of a second. I'm going to go into the office and I'm going to uncombine your invoice, and then I'm going to recombine your invoice, and I'm going to send it again and try to pay directly from the invoice that you get in the email and not going through the app or whatever, and see if that fixes the problem. Okay, it will not at this point allow me to re-invoice because it is saying that checkout is incomplete. Like as in checkout started but then didn't finish. So that has happened before. The last time that happened a couple weeks ago, and someone had to go to eBay customer service, which is I think what you're going to have to do. You're either going to have to call them or you're going to have to hit them up in chat. And then eBay customer service did something and was able to get it fixed where the person could then go through and complete checkout all the way through. Because that's where it is right now. I tried to uncombine the invoice, which it let me do. But when I tried to combine it back, it would not allow me to combine it back because it says literally checkout incomplete. Alex Bregman for the Astros. There's another Astros hit coming out. All right, let's get... Man, these don't stop getting stuck together. Mr. Arrieta in the black parallel. David, on Stadium Club, this is box number 7 of 8 for the half case of Stadium Club. Billy Wagner is our next signature. Another Astro. So many Astros. Or at least it seems like so many Astros. Some of them were probably in the earlier break, but still seems like a lot. All right, Jay, we'll see you later, man. You take care. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, David, you were watching the wrong channel. Were you watching one of the older ones from a different date? Or literally watching like a whole different person? Oh, you're watching one of the uploaded ones. Yeah, you know, it's weird. The ones that I upload, I can do whatever with. So I title them, you know, with the eBay end date and all that stuff. But then YouTube will take the live stream and it archives it. And so it saves it as well. So there's really 2 versions of every break recorded. The one that I record locally and upload myself. And then the one that eBay takes and... eBay. that YouTube takes and archives. And they just save it automatically. I don't tell them to save it or anything. They just do. And theirs, you know, is just titled live stream. And then it'll have like the date, but in kind of a weird way. So I could see how that would be confusing because there's so many of them that will say live stream that are just literally the archived version from YouTube. Just trying to get those unstuck. There's so many. Stadium Club has really been bad about having the cards stick together. Yes, David, I will definitely show the hits again. See, look at that. They're just like in a big brick there. Yeah, well, I always recap the hits at the end of a break, so for sure we will buzz through those again as soon as we finish up on this last box here. I am sorry that you were watching the wrong one. That is no fun. Typically on the live stream, the actual true live stream, it will have a little box down in the lower right hand corner, I think, and it'll say in red letters live. And if ever you don't see that, then you're watching some recorded version. There is Luke Weaver for the Cardinals. And then often it'll be just like a small little box in general, and what's in it also, you know, the little word live is small, the little box itself is small, but if you click in the box, the video, it will enlarge it, and then, you know, you can make it full screen or part screen or whatever, but it makes it a little easier. Matt Olson is our redemption. We got a couple of redemptions that we'll be going to the checklist on. Now, may as well just separate them all before we get started. And that is another one of our chrome variation, or what they call chrome in this particular set. Whoops, that feels like, because we didn't get them all separated, because Max Kepler was stuck in behind there. See if we can get that. All right, we're in the home stretch. How'd the game end up, the back half, the night game, I should say, back half of the doubleheader? What was the final score for Yankees and Red Sox? Anybody know? Tommy Joseph. All right, we've got one pack left, and we will checklist verify our 2 redemptions, and then we will recap our hits. Hey, Lou Gehrig. Might be the first Lou Gehrig I've seen. But I don't believe there are technically short prints in this. I mean, not that I remember seeing on the checklist anyway. However, I don't remember seeing a lot of Lou Gehrig go through. Granted, I do sometimes kind of phase out a little bit on the base, but I don't remember seeing a lot of Lou Gehrig. All right, so let's head to the checklist for Matt Olson and Braden Shipley. Oh, so it finished up 3-0 Sox. Okay, cool. Yankees did not make a go of it today then. All right, these are, oh, I'm in the Tier 1 checklist. Let's try that again. We need Stadium Club. All right, so Mr. Braden Shipley, as we suspected, or as we knew, but I always verify, is the Diamondbacks. And then Matt Olson. And now we will do a little recap. So let's just start with our redemptions. We have the base card autograph redemption for the Diamondbacks with Braden Shipley. Base card autograph redemption for the A's with Matt Olson. And these I set aside, even though some of them are not numbered, because this is the Instavision, which is 1 per case, even though it is unnumbered, for the Dodgers with Clayton Kershaw. And then we have a black parallel beam team, Noah Syndergaard. That one is numbered to 99. And then we have our gold parallel beam team, Mike Trout. And that, even though it is not numbered, that is a case hit. So there's one of the gold beam teams per case, and that is it. Oh, so there are short prints. Okay, well, I don't know, David, why I couldn't find the short prints like on the checklist. So I would think then possibly that was maybe a short print, since I don't remember seeing it before, but without having a checklist to refer to, I can't say for 100% sure if it is. I can just say I personally don't remember seeing that card before in the rest of the case. So our signatures, Luke Weaver for the Cardinals, Billy Wagner for the Astros. Astros had a really good break because there's Alex Bregman as well, which is a very nice hit for the Astros. Tim Cooney for the Indians. Seth Lugo for the Mets. Dan Vogelbach for the Mariners. Aaron Nola for the Phillies. Greg Bird for the Yankees. Stephen Wright for the Red Sox. Tim Anderson for the White Sox. Ronaldo Lopez, White Sox. AJ Reed, Astros again. Robert Gelman, Mets. And Joe Musgrove, Astros again. A lot of Astros in there. So that is it for this half of Stadium Club. Oh, Gehrig is not a short print. Okay, well, as I said, I just knew I personally hadn't noticed it in there before. I didn't know for sure if it was a short print or not, so it sounds like it is not. And then someone wanted, who was it a bit back, that I want to know if he's still, somebody asked earlier about Tier 1, and I said if they wanted to hang out, that I would go through and show them Tier 1 again. I mean, it's probably been 30 plus minutes ago at this point. If you're still on here and you want to see Tier 1 again, will you jump into chat and let me know? And chat does have a delay of a couple seconds, so a couple seconds, really probably more like a couple minutes from the time you type it to the time I see it. So I will hang on for a minute and see if you are here. Oh, so there are 24 short prints. Okay. Wayne, thank you, man. I always appreciate you hanging out with me and bidding with me. And I'm pretty sure I got a big package off to you this weekend. And you will have some more stuff coming, of course, pretty soon. You may have some stuff that'll go out tomorrow, I think, because I do have some stuff going tomorrow. And then this stuff I'm anticipating Wednesday. If I can get it to you quicker, I will. And you are still there. Okay, cool, Jared. Then let me come down here and get tier 1 for you. All right. We have the Korea Redemption. We had a lot of redemptions tonight. The Glasnow Redemption. And then the rest of these, I'm just going to show you the front of these since they're numbered on the front. I mean, the majority of these do have some kind of chipping and kind of minor edge type stuff on the back. And if any of these you want to see the back of, let me know. Otherwise, of course, we saw the front and the back originally going through. So if there is something that you specifically want to see the back of now, just let me know. And I will do it. But I'm assuming that most of these, you're just interested in what the hits were. All right, so did that get you covered, Jared? Do you want to look at anything else out of there again? Yes, Wayne, thank you. Thanks, everybody. I'm sorry that tonight was a little more difficult than normal. I really struggled with chat being down, and then YouTube wouldn't let me back in my channel at all for a period of time, and it was kind of a mess, and I know, and I'm sorry. Sometimes technology gets the better of us. So that's got you covered, Jared. Okay, awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you. And again, sorry for the hiccup earlier in the evening. I appreciate everyone bidding with me and chatting with me and being patient tonight while we got all that mess sorted out. So I hope that I will see you again. I hope I didn't scare off the new folks with all the crap that happened tonight. But I appreciate you guys. Have a good week. Thanks.